Welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, so today we'll be continuing talking about a evolving matter, which is the 200 or 300 U.S. companies. Last week, they signed some statement or issued some statement against the Georgia voting law. And as a matter of fact, things are, continue happening on two fronts. That's what we want to talk to you about. And we do want to show you that if you want to know, 5 or 10 years down the road, what would be their fate?
What could be their future?
Yeah, we'll probably have an answer for you, which was illustrated today. All right, okay. Just keep your curiosity there. And I also have a joke for you. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's not I didn't have it last time. I just forgot. Anyway,
okay.
We'll catch up. We'll catch up with that. Okay, how about that? Alrighty.
Oh, yeah. So actually, before we start the topic, I would like to say thank you for those who sent emails to us. Yeah, we received a lot of emails. Would like to keep in contact with us in case, we have new developments or other things happening. So, yeah, it's great to receive the emails. And some of you also took the time to write to us. I really enjoyed reading it and replying the emails. So keep it coming.
Kathy actually spent hours reading through the email and replying you, and but we appreciate you writing to us. Okay, now back to the topic today. So first, after those companies taking their positions, two major things. I would say two things are happening. Okay, first, many people are taking actions to basically boycott them. Okay, we read about people writing to Coca-Cola or the Major League Baseball and the Delta and so on, and then just tell them that they don't like it. They don't like it. Okay, and then there's this a lot of discontent, not just in the English among you guys, in the Chinese audience, same reaction. Another important development is the people who started that thing. They're worried this thing is going to die out. Okay, so they are taking very proactive actions. So one person, two people I want to mention here. First is who I mentioned, last week, Kenneth Chenault. Okay, Kenneth Chenault, he's the former CEO of American Express, and then another CEO, his name is also Kenneth Frazier, CEO of the Merck Corporation. Both of them are African American leaders, and then CEOs, and then they collectively urge about 72 black executives to issue a statement last month, and then now after what happened last week, okay, they worried about that this thing is going to slow down, so they held a Zoom meeting among over 100, right?
About 100
CEOs.
Executives.
Yeah, CEOs on
investors.
Saturday, a Zoom meeting, an online Zoom meeting, and basically just literally asked them to show their attitude. Are you going to sign this or not? Imagine there's a lot of peer pressure, right? Mm-hmm. What are the other things that they ask for?
Okay, basically they ask them to do a poll. Okay, and the main questions, the two main questions they ask them to answer, to ask those CEOs to answer. One thing is ask them to, basically the whole theme is to discuss the new responses towards the Georgia's voting law, and also for other states like Arizona and Texas which are considering to pass the similar laws. So at the meeting, the CEOs were asked to participate a poll. So for one question is they asked them if they would reevaluate their political contribution or donations to the candidates according to their voting records on the voting laws. And it was reported that everyone said that they would reconsider. The second question is asking them if they would reconsider, maybe reduce investment in those states that passed voting laws, which they consider is restricting voting voting rights. That's how they put it. And among all the CEOs, it was said 48% of them said that yes, they will reconsider. A quarter of the CEOs did not answer those questions in the poll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just among the companies that they surveyed, this is reporting I'm reading here, and they said several executives signaled that they would sign on, including who are they? Okay, executives at Pepsi, Coke, and the PayPal, and D. Rao Price Group, which is an investment firm, and the Haas Corporation, among others. All right. So as you know, that people indicated that they don't want to buy Coke, they want to buy Pepsi. Since last week. What if Pepsi sign up on it? Okay, we don't know yet. Okay, so far PayPal confirmed that it has signed the statement, but Pepsi and the T. Rowe Price and Haas, they have not responded to the request for confirmation. All right, so we'll see how that goes. It's not final yet, but the next thing I want to talk about is a quote from from an interview of Professor Victor David Hanson, with the Newsmax. I think it was yesterday, and this is what Hanson said. He said that the U.S. is in a radical recollaboration because all the institutions that the conservatives look towards have all been woke now. Okay, as we all know that throughout the last 5 decades, pretty much the ultra leftist they sacked media, Hollywood, and universities and our public schools. All right, but Hanson said they are moving on to corporate, the corporate structure, Wall Street, military. Okay, and those are by nature, by definition, they are not partisan at all, right? Traditionally, have to serve everybody. There's no, the Democrat Coke or just a Republican Pepsi. There's nothing like that, right? And in Wall Street, they care about, generate return on investment, a good ROI. Whether it's, is this party or that party, what ideology, that doesn't matter to them. Military, even more so. It's about protecting the nation. Military people do not running around saying that I'm Democrat or I'm Republican. And that's why we love our military, right? We love them, we trust them, and they're doing a good job. And Hanson further, he said, is the sports. Okay, we're talking about the national basketball, NBA, and NFL, and also the Major League Baseball. And Hanson said, those are American pastimes and conservative traditions. And they did not take sides before. Now they all become so-called woke. And the woke that I mentioned is about woke to what, right? And I think both sides like to use this word woke. And the leftists view that as a positive term, woke to the racism problem. And the conservatives see that, also use that word in a cynical term, okay? But how about us? For us who live through communist ourselves, we understand that it's a woke. In Chinese, indeed, there's the same word called woke, but the whole word is called woke to the class struggle. That was a positive term. 阶级觉悟, 阶级斗争觉悟. That's a positive term in the Chinese communist vocabulary. All right. So in that sense, as I shared with you before, I see the class struggle in this country is the racist struggle, artificially created this races and the tension among the races and the struggle among the races. And then when you awoke to that, or the ultra leftists will view that as a merit. But to me, that's just woke to a lie, okay, and an acceptance of that lie. So Hanson further, he said this. He specifically mentioned about the military. He said that the Secretary of the Defense, Lloyd Austin, during his confirmation hearing, he said, some of America's enemies lie within our rank. Take note of that. And Hanson was especially unhappy about that. He said he gave no evidence. No evidence was given, but he made that statement. All right, but that does indicating what could be happening to our ranks in the military, okay? And Hanson said, I think the corporate structure, and as I said, the military top echelons, they are playing a waiting game. What does that mean? He said, right now they fear a loud and activist 30%, far more than they do of the 70% live and let live middle of the road people and the conservatives. So basically, he said there are, the leftists, the ultra leftists, only 30%, but they are loud and they're very active, and now they make people afraid of them, right? More than they're afraid of the other 70% mainstream people who are very quiet at this time. So Hanson said, if we are not going to create a deterrence, they're going to react to this loud minority. Okay, I think, let's take note of this word, loud minority. That's exactly what happened in China.
Yeah, and also in Cuba, in Soviet Union, when I interviewed Professor Hanson before, he warned that. He said that actually, in all those communist country, society, when the communists took power at that time, it's only, they are minorities, but they are so loud, and people are blindsided or deceived by them, and they took over the power, and what it brings is really the killings and disasters. So Professor Hanson actually was very worried about it. And he said that, we really have to speak up, speak out. Yeah.
And in China back then, in the 1921, when the CCP was first founded, they got 12 people. Okay, only 12 people. But they are very active. They received funds from Soviet Union, and they did a lot of subversion. And by the way, I want to read Matthew Lautner, your word. You said they have not been woke, they have been blinded. Well said, exactly.
Exactly.
They claim they are woke. They're completely blinded. And talking about blinded, I do want to just mention the next thing, which is a word by Yuri Bezmenov. He's defected KGB, who came to the U.S., Canada, to the West, in 1970, and he did a lot of interview and the lecture, things like that. We took note of him because of you, one of you, right, who left a message in the comment. So we check him out. Very, very accurate, description. He said that there's this useful idiots, right? Useful idiots who probably just like, who are the useful idiots?
He said that those are the professors in the he's talking about the useful idiots in United States. Who are they? He mentioned some of the professors in the universities, and also the beautiful civil rights defenders.
Yeah, and then he said there are four stages in the subversion a normal country by the communism. The first step, just hear me out, okay? The first is called a demoralization. Demoralization, destroy the moral structure, destroy the moral of the nation. That process would take 15 to 20 years. Why? Because that's an entire generation. In order to destroy a country, you have to destroy their moral. In order to destroy their moral, you have to set your hand on the kids. Continue on there with no stop until 15 to 20 years later. Then you own that generation. Okay? He said communism is doing a fantastic job in America. This is 1984. That was the time of the interview. He said they went through 3 generations. Now the graduates of the 1960s, they are become the elected officials, they are attorneys, they are activists, they are just they are in all kinds of major position of the society. All right, that's the first thing, 15 to 20 years. And the second is called a destabilization, which would take 2 to 5 years, during which economy structure, system, foreign relationship, and defense all will take big change. Probably we're in it now. Okay, the third is a crisis, which will normally take no more than 6 weeks. Okay, in about just 1 month, a violent change of power. Okay, and the communists come to ruling. The fourth is called a so-called normalization. But he said that's the wrong use of the word, but that's what the communists use. That's the normalization after their crisis, after their revolution. Okay, and in that normalization, the promised paradise on earth, eliminate the free market, establish big brother government, make promises to people that would never be fulfilled. All right, and so that's that. And by the way, specifically, he said for those useful idiots, after the second step, First is demoralization. The second is destabilization. After that, they're gonna get rid of those useful idiots. And Kathy, why? Why they want to get rid of those useful idiots?
Yeah, because they know too much. And when those useful idiots saw the communists or Marxists, they took over power, they realized that they cannot get the power. And they got, they are not happy with that. And because they know too much, then, they will be just executed. They are the first ones to be executed.
Yeah. They said those dissident in the free world. Okay, he said like the economist, right? Daniel Ellsberg, if you still know his name, and Jane Fonda, who is still very active now. He said she can become filthily rich in the capitalist world, but when the communists took over, people like them will be just crushed, squashed, just like a cockroach, just like that. And then those useful idiot will be lined up against the wall and shot. So that's what he said, and that's the useful of it. In certain sense, I think those big corporations, what kind of role are they play? Essentially, useful idiots. They think they are doing a good thing because they took in, for face value or not, they took their lie, which is a beautiful lie: equality, no racism, everybody's equal. Okay, we got rid of the system of racism of America. It's something that nobody would deny. It sounds beautiful, sounds great. So those companies were just, coerced or threatened or lured to recognize that, sign up thing, create a big, atmosphere whereby, any state voting law that ask for voter ID is a crime. It's a sin. And then after that, what will happen?
So what would happen?
Talking about what would happen, let's fast forward to today. What is happening in China for the knowledge of those 300 companies?
Yeah, so actually, it just so happened that things are happening right now. We think it really is very revealing for those hundreds of companies, what their fate might be or could be. So, and a lot of people know about Jack Ma and Alibaba, right? So Jack Ma's his huge enterprise got a severe hit just recently. So what happened was on April 12th, April 10th, okay, 2 days ago, Alibaba was fined for unprecedented fine. It's about 18 billion RMB, which is about 2.8.
Nearly $3 billion.
Yeah, nearly $3 billion US dollars.
One fine. $3 billion.
One fine. So that's unprecedented. And then 2 days, that's almost like 4% of its sales in 2019. All right. And 2 days later, another company that he owned shares, it's called Ant Group. Remember Ant Group? Last fall, it almost went IPO as the largest with the largest values in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was stopped by the CCP government 2 days before it's supposed to go IPO. So the Ant Group was interviewed by the authorities. So the interview is not just a very normal interview in China. When such company is interviewed by the authority, it means big trouble. So why Alibaba got such a huge fine, and why Ant Group got interviewed? Okay, for Alibaba, it was charged that since 2015, it has been violating the anti-monopoly law in China, and because it was charged to be restricting businesses which are the competitors, restricting the competitors in order to maintain its own position. And Alibaba was also agreed to conduct a comprehensive rectification of its operation and ensure that it will abide the rules of fair competition. And also, like it's including maybe it will be required to spin off and sell some assets unrelated to its main e-commerce business. And these type of rectification measures require approval of the highest leaders in the CCP. Okay, a commercial, an enterprise, an enterprise will require CCP's highest top leaders' agreement to rectify. Then 2 days later, the Ant Group was jointly interviewed by the CCP bank, the central bank of the CCP, and other organizations, other institutions. And because it was said that they were required, the Ant Group is required to spin off its payment business and it was asked to apply to become a financial holding company supervised by the central bank of the CCP government. And all the business must be subordinated. So which means it's because the central bank in China is actually controlled by the government. So it's almost just making Ant Group part of the government-controlled bank. And the Ant Financial, they made a statement saying that we will actively put our growth in the context of national strategy, and it will work hard to create social value. So just listen to, pay attention to those details. It's basically surrender to the government saying, I will just listen to your direction. And so the Wall Street Journal reported that the officials in Beijing not necessarily really want to crash Alibaba or Ant Group, but it just wanted to make sure that the companies will just distance itself with Jack Ma, the founder, and move closer to the CCP, which means they are worried about Jack Ma. And why is that? Jack Ma, last October, he made some comments publicly. It's at a finance summit in Shanghai. And he just criticized the China's financial and regulatory system. He blamed that these type of systems have stifled innovation and must be reformed to promote growth.
He also said those banks that just like the pawn shop.
Yeah, it's like a pawn shop. So
think about it. You say that kind of word to the Chinese CCP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and after he made the comments, all those troubles just came along.
You got yourself into big trouble.
Yeah, and also, actually interesting enough, after Jack Ma, actually another, his name is Ma Huateng, okay, also last name with Ma, and he's the founder of Tencent. Remember Tencent? Tencent is the company, the tech giant that has just signed their agreement with MLB, the Major League Baseball, to extend their rights to broadcast games not only in China but also in Asia. So actually Tencent's founder Tencent could be the next tech giant to get more regulated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we wanted to, actually it's just happening right now, okay? And it really could illustrate to those American companies what could be the next step for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for information, how did Alibaba become so so successful, right? Mm-hmm. They're very innovative, and Tencent too, innovative and grow fast.
And also, I think it got a lot of support from the government initially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually initially at their growth is because the government doesn't understand digital. They don't understand digital technology, so they left them alone. That's why they were able
and
to
even help them in some way. Because in China, for example, when Google and Facebook tried to get to China, it could be created competition for Alibaba, for example. but the government just put a string to favor Alibaba.
Yeah, it's just anyway. They're just closely involved. In the very beginning, those high-tech company, CCP did not understand high tech. Okay, that's why they find their a free land for them to start their innovation. Then later, when they start to compete with the U.S. company, then the government step in and fend off like a company like Google, Facebook drive them out, so that they leave the entire China to those big company. But again, still this is within the hold of the CCP. As if they show any discontent or any deviating from the leadership of the party, that will be their doomsday.
Yeah, and also, it could be like another factor could be Jack Ma. He is very, bold, right? Also, he's very active. He does not only have the e-commerce, the internet company. He also established a school for 5 years. Right now, the school also had been forced to admit more students, and people are saying this school, is also very innovative, right? Has a lot of impact. He also bought the Nanhua Zhaobao, another newspaper,
South China Morning Daily.
Yeah,
Morning,
and at that time the government didn't restrict him, bought out this newspaper at all. But now he's also probably will be forced to sell this newspaper. And I saw another commentator was saying Jack Ma was just he's so dynamic, right? And then, right, it's not only he got punished by the Chinese Communist government, not just by what he said last year. It has been, he just appears to be more and more threatening to the central control of the government. And they would not allow that, no matter, how good of a relationship they had before.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jack Ma, tried to bring in some party, high-level party officials and give them a share and try to cultivate relationship with them so that he can stay safe. But even that doesn't work, okay? Because he's not in the line. He's not in the line of the party. So they find trouble with him, and then now his innovation, it touched the finance area, which is monopolied by the CCP. Okay, all the state-owned bank, and that's their territory. He dared to touch that, and that's also his doomsday. Yeah, like Judy, you said that's you were wondering how people like Alibaba could get wealthy. Yes, in the very beginning, because they didn't understand this field, so they leave them alone. If they understand certain field, they they extend their hand into it, they control everything. They basically stifled innovation. And then why China's economy and the technology can progress? Because America is their R&D department. They keep stealing, they just keep stealing. Okay, our government needs to be very, very conscious about that. And literally the decoupling would be the way to stop that kind of, stealing. It's the internet, folks. It's the internet. They can hack into virtually any computer in our country. And America now, in certain sense, become their R&D department. And they have no shame. They have no restraint. If they steal, they can get away. They view that as a success. That's the ethics of the CCP. All right. Yeah. So that's that. Okay. I guess that would be.
Yeah. So really, we would like to share this information. Hopefully, in some way, those CEOs of U.S. companies could, understand these and understand what kind of role they could be playing right now and what could be their future. Really, it's not pretty for them if they're going down this road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to talk about something lighter spirited, right? More light spirited. So I got this actually from one of our viewers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to dig out your name, but if you are here, I really appreciate it because I'm going to talk about this South and the North Dakota story.
Okay.
Is there any viewers among us who are from South Dakota or North Dakota?
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah, please let us know. And if there are people like you, please walk away.
Oh.
Because the joke is about, making fun of people, you guys, okay? So basically, this is what I was taught by these viewers, right? By these fellas who said in North Dakota and South Dakota, they are rivals, okay? They make fun of each other, right? And then, so first, okay, there's in the interstate highway, there's a car accident. And, they got a car accident. It's hard to say whose fault. The two cars are struck and then, got badly damaged. All right. So the North Dakota came out and the South Dakota came out and then they would just look at the cars. The North Dakota guy said, just pat his back. Don't worry, take it easy. Get over the shock. He just handed him a can of the liquor, right?
Okay.
Some people carry liquor, and then South Dakota feel he cannot get used to such a friendship, right? He said, oh, thank you. He just take a sip, and then you return it to him, and he just took that bottle and just put it back in his pocket. He would say, why don't you take a sip too? Just relax. He said, yeah, sure, I will do that. After the police comes. All right. So
Judy is born in North Dakota.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'm talking about you. I think I was talking about your neighbor. Okay. So the South Dakota guys just feel really bad. Okay, he needs to get even with him, right?
Okay.
With the North Dakota neighbor, right? So he have a he sent him a suggestion. He said, I got a friend who was from California, and he's very good at fishing. And that person is not Wei, okay? It's not Wei or Kathy, okay? Some Chinese from California.
Okay.
All right. So he will show you how to do fish. The North Dakota guy really like fishing. All right. Okay. So the Chinese guy and the North Dakota went to the fishing. Each caught some fish, right? So the Chinese guy just hold the fish and look at the eyes of the fish and start to squeaking his eyes. And the fish was squeaking his eyes.
Oh.
Fish never squeak their eyes, right?
That's creepy.
Fish just close the eye and open the eye. How can they squint their eyes? And the fish squint his eye. The North Dakota feel really, really amazed. How did you do that? The Chinese guy said, it's easy. Mind over matter. Mind over matter, right? Your mind can
use your mind to control.
Your mind can control the matter. Mind over matter.
Okay.
So the North Dakota guy was really amazed. Really? Can I do that with my fish? He said, of course. Go ahead and try it. So the North Dakota took the fish. Yeah, listen to me. I don't know whether you're going to get it. Okay. He looked into the eyes of the fish, and suddenly he started to raise his head and start to breathe very, very fastly. Please laugh.
Why? I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it.
Because the fish's mind is over the North Dakota guy. Okay. Hope you like it. This is from one of our fellow among the viewers.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I want to mention our probably one of the first viewers, Beaumont Michael said 自由. Remember?
Oh yeah, 自由.
Yeah, last week?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, last Monday we taught you the two Chinese characters, right? 自由, still remember? Freedom, liberty.
Let's say it again, please.
自由.
Say it again. 自由. The third time, please, together with us. 自由. Freedom, liberty. They are good. Let's keep them. All right. Thank you for staying with us.
And take care.
Yeah, until next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night.